Hello, hello, I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel. This is the weekly angel card reading video for the week beginning January the 14th to the 20th, 2019. Hopefully you guys are figuring out what year it is. I'm still getting a bit stuck. Almost posted a card last week for the wrong, with 2018 on it. Caught myself just in time. Anyway, takes time to adjust, doesn't it? On that note, let's see what adjustments we might need to make based on what the angels have to tell us. A favourable outcome. Beautiful. Okay, so it's really telling you everything's going to be okay. You might notice there are some scales on here. Very much, if you think about the scales, they're about justice, that idea of getting an even weighting, harmony. So this can relate to people who are going through maybe a legal process that and they're worried about the outcome, some sort of contractual situation. You know, but it doesn't have to be. It could be any situation. It's really asking you to bear in mind that the word favourable doesn't just mean favourable to you. It might mean favourable to other people as well. So try not to be in a position where you're trying to force for everything you want, which might disadvantage other people. I know that sounds a bit weird, but what I'm trying to say is there's going to be an outcome that works for everybody. It might not be exactly what you would expected, but it will be best for everybody. So try not to... Yeah, just be aware of where you're landing on that if you're attached to a particular outcome, if I could put it like that. So Tuesday, the 15th of January. Emotional sensitivity. If you've ever been told you're too sensitive, welcome to my world. Not a bad thing, even though it is intended as an insult. Actually your strength, not your weakness. We live in a world that tells us we should be tough. And what we are learning as society starts to evolve is that strength actually comes from being vulnerable and being sensitive. Anyway, digression. This is asking you to be aware of that sensitivity and to really honour it. So a couple of things. It could be asking you to be aware of if you are an empath. As I mentioned, you're very sensitive. You might pick up on other people's energy, some mood in the room. It's not about necessarily whether you're overreacting to situations. It's asking you to don't close off to feelings. Really be aware of if you're trying to shut down how you feel because you don't want to cause issues, or you don't want to have to, because sometimes... You know, sometimes we try to suppress feelings because we know if we face up to them, we're going to have to do something about the situation. That can be a bit scary. We might have to face up to the fact that this job actually isn't working. We need to leave, for example. So be aware of your feelings, if I can put it like that, and don't try and ignore them. Don't try and get away from them, and don't let anyone tell you that you're wrong to feel sensitive about this situation. There's a reason for that, and it's a good thing. I will put some more information about being an empath on my website, not on my website, on my Facebook page, but chances are if you're watching this, you already know the deal with that. Yeah, I've lost the card. Okay, I seem to have mistakenly put Monday's card back in the pile, which means I'm not going to be able to do a very good summary. Nothing new there. Sorry, I'll just find it again so I can gather the cards at the end. That was just a habit. Let's move on to Wednesday now. This is not a good start, is it? Oh well, you guys know these videos are certainly not professional. World energy. Okay, this is talking about the energy around you, and it does talk about the fact that what you may be feeling may not be from you. It might be as a result of what's around you. You know, the surface layers of the earth have absorbed a lot of trauma, and we can be impacted by that. We can be impacted on other people's moods, as I mentioned. The news, I think I've already told you guys I don't watch the news because I'm sensitive to it. It makes me feel seeing people suffering is not good for me. It really upsets me, and that doesn't serve anyone for me to be upset or distressed by that. This is asking you to be aware of whether what you're feeling is actually not yours. Maybe it's come from the negative people that you work with. Maybe it's come from the situation around you, or the place you're living in, which has absorbed a lot of trauma. And this is asking you to do something about it. So some shielding work. I will put up that shielding article again. Probably everyone's read it already. I post it all the time, but it is relevant, you know, other ways we can shield ourselves from taking on board other people's energies. And this does let you know it's not just you. We all feel it, and it's okay. Whatever you're feeling is okay, which is never not a welcome message, I think. The problem with what we typically call unpleasant emotions is we often think we're the only one who feels this way. We're the only one who has to deal with this, and it's not true at all. Yeah, so, but we have to reach out to find that out. Thursday. A change in the wind. I talked at the start of this about what adjustments might need to happen. Sometimes those adjustments are thrust upon us, and we might not be necessarily happy about it. Maybe going back to the job example, redundancy, I use that example a lot because it's happened to me multiple times. I am in a volatile industry, the media. However, that doesn't make me special. I'm pretty sure lots of people have been made redundant. There are lots of examples this can come up. Maybe a job offer that needs you to relocate is coming up. This is just asking you to be open to changes. You don't need to go seeking them out necessarily, but if you feel intuitively that you're being called to make some changes, go with it. And it's letting you know you're being supported through those changes. It's okay to go ahead with them. It's okay to be scared, but make sure that fear doesn't stop you from moving forward. So change is a good thing. Sometimes it doesn't feel it, particularly if it's not been something that was instigated by you, but try not to block it as a result of whatever you're feeling. Friday's cards now. I don't think it's the right card deck. I'm going to go with this one. I reserve the right to change my mind. Okay, yeah, I got this card straight away. Sweetness. So for those of you who might remember this card, it is really about pleasure and making sure we're not cutting ourselves off from pleasure. This came up a bit last week actually, but this idea of having fun and enjoying our lives. It seems like such an obvious thing that we do need to remind people to have fun and enjoy their lives, but unfortunately we've got so much to do and we're so busy we do forget. And this is making sure that you remember to prioritise some joy. What thing could you do for yourself today that will bring back some sweetness? Maybe you'll buy a piece of fruit that you really love. Maybe you'll sit and enjoy a cup of tea instead of scrolling through your phone while you drink and not really focus on the joy of that cup of tea. Maybe you'll ring a friend that you haven't talked to for ages and have a great conversation catching up. Bring back some sweetness, some element of joy and pleasure, something that has no purpose other than the joy of making you feel good. Those are the things that we regret not doing more of as we approach the end of our lives. So Saturday, did not expect that. New love. Okay, so if you're single, if you're single and looking for someone, not everyone is, you'll be pretty happy about this. So a new love is coming into your lives, yay. But that doesn't mean if you already have your soulmate in your life that you're going to meet someone else, so don't panic. So firstly, going back to the singles, remember that you need to be active in any sort of growth that's happening in your life. So you can't just sit around and wait for this new person to knock on your door like the Uber Eats person. You need to be addressing any blocks you have to love. It's the simplest way I can put it. I never talk to people about what they need to be doing in terms of finding someone, because I don't believe that love is something you find. I think it's something that you attract. It's a very active process. We talk about falling in love, but you don't fall. It's something that happens, that you are part of that process. It's not passive. And so instead of trying to find it, what I advocate for doing is looking at where you might be blocking it. And I use that Rumi quote a lot, that quote about removing all the obstacles you might have to love so that it can expand. And I should find that quote and get the wording of it right because I keep getting it wrong. But so that might be if you're still upset about the way your past relationship ended, if you are still trying to control the process of love, when you go on a date, you're already trying to figure out whether you can see yourself in wedding photos next to that person. All sorts of things, whether you are still terrified of getting hurt, or you're terrified of rejection, or anything like that, or you just are unwilling to get into a relationship unless you know it's going to end well, which there just aren't we don't get to know how the story ends. That's not how it works. So looking at where you've got some blocks and clearing them might be part of your process here. And making sure you're not always saying no. Sometimes people are too close-minded about the type of person that they think is right for them. I wouldn't necessarily have chosen the person that I'm with because there are a couple of things that weren't on my list. And although I'm a big fan of being very clear on what you want, you do need to open up to the possibility that the universe might have something better in mind. He is so much better than I could ever have expected. Now, couples, what do I need to tell you about this? Has your relationship become a bit stale, if I can put it like that? Esther Perel, this fantastic love expert, always talks about how we have many marriages, not necessarily, if you're not a fan of marriage, let's just substitute out the word marriage for relationships, if you like. We have many marriages in our lifetime, and hopefully they will be with the same person. That is because your relationship has to evolve. You cannot have the same relationship with your partner that you have now at age 50 that you guys had when you were 22, because your life has changed. You might have a family now, or you know, a grown-up family, or you might be in a different place in your lives. You might have health issues or job changes. It's not normal to want to try and keep your relationship stationary. It needs to be evolving. So ask yourself whether you are blocking that process in any way, whether you're trying to make things different. But also make sure that there is constant new love energy coming in. So bringing back the romance, making sure you're still connecting, you're not taking each other for granted, you're not spending more time together on your phones separately as opposed to actually talking to each other, etc. And yeah, just keep renewing that connection. There's that word new. So it doesn't mean new as a new person. It means new as in keep your relationship evolving in a healthy way. Hopefully that made sense. Sunday. I really recommend following Esther Perel, by the way, if you're not already. It's Esthel. It's spelled like Esther, but pronounced Esther. Perel is Perel, and she does an excellent podcast called Where Should We Begin, which is actually real-life conversations in her therapy room with couples. So name's disguised, but it's incredibly enlightening and helps you realize that some issues are universal, and helps you understand that sometimes the issue that we think we've got in a relationship is actually a cover for something else. Sunday, Shanti, the angel of peace. This is really super reassuring. It's letting you know things are going to get better. Very similar to what I said with Monday's card. Shanti is the angel of peace and letting you know greater harmony and tranquility is coming through for you. So that's really all I need to say for that. Yay. Who doesn't need that? Unless you're addicted to drama, of course. But I don't think anybody watching this would be addicted to drama. Some of you might be addicted to dating people who are addicted to drama. That's a whole other thing. Now, so we've got this idea about things of change and things evolving to something better with that new love card, and with that, the peace card. But there's also some, I don't want to use the word warnings, but like a little, by the way, about some of the energy that's coming through and how you might be responding to it from other people, and to really protect your energy field about that. You don't want to make other people's stuff your stuff. You've got enough of your own. And yeah, that's enough for the week. Thank you very much for watching. You can see each card each day on my social media pages, which are Instagram at One Grounded Angel. My Facebook page is One Grounded Angel. Don't forget, you don't need to be on Facebook if you want to see my Facebook messages. You just need to punch in facebook.com/One Grounded Angel, all one word. And if you want to find out more about the energy healing work I do, or having a personal angel card reading, you can do that by visiting my website, onegroundedangel.com. And there are blogs, there are articles about angel card readings and about energy healing. But if you still want more information, fill out the booking form and I can give you that. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, I do offer healings and energy healings to anyone, anywhere in the world. You don't need to be in Australia. You certainly don't need to be living in my town, because we have Skype and email, so geography is not an issue. Thank you for watching, and I will be here again next week to read for you once again. Take care.